how are you? Hope you're well. So I thought this would be a fun little video to make of me, obviously, reading my most anticipated contemporary romances of the year, which there are 2 to 3 of. Technically 3, but 1 is a paranormal romance and I'm making a completely separate video for that one. So in this video, you've probably seen the thumbnail. If I put them in the thumbnail, I'll be reading 2 out of those 3 highly anticipated rom-coms, and I'm very excited. My hopes are very high. I love these authors. I love the books that they come out with. I've never read a book that I didn't like by them. So yeah, I'm very excited, and let's just get into it, I guess. So, funny story. I actually already finished the first book. I've been very, very busy this month. Actually, these past 2 months, I've just been a very busy gal, and I haven't really had time to film as much as usual. So I'm just gonna be jumping straight into the review of this book and tell you what I thought of it. And if you didn't pick up on my little bad joke from earlier, I read Funny Story by Emily Henry. I freaked out when this book was announced. The title being Funny Story made me very excited, and then the fact that it's about the girl who's dating her ex-fiance's new fiance's ex-boyfriend, fake dating to make them jealous, and they're roommates because she got kicked out of her house with her ex-fiance. Like, it just sounded like an unhinged good time, and I was not disappointed. I gave this book 5 stars. It was so good. I was really hoping for the typical Emily Henry book where it's funny and the characters are great and it's a rom-com at its heart, but there is just that emotional thing about it that makes it not just a silly time, and like it does tug on your heartstrings. And she's very good at writing rom-coms that are still meaningful and have meaningful storylines, and it's not just shits and giggles all the time. Obviously, it's Emily Henry. I was hoping for that. I was expecting that, but I was hoping with this one she would go a bit lighter on the comedy side, because with my top two before this, it was Happy Place and Beach Read. Beach Read is a fun time until you get to a certain part, the letters, if you know, you know, where it shatters you inside and out, and it's not fun anymore. And then Happy Place, I need to reread that one. Still physically, I haven't done that yet. I need to do that at some point, whenever the mood strikes. But with Happy Place, it kind of felt the same, where it was like, it was fun until it wasn't, and then I was just in tears until the end. And that's fine. I cry very easily, so I know I'm probably kind of on the extreme point of that, but I was hoping for a little bit of tears, but mostly just a fun good time, and that's exactly what I got. The ending the ending warmed my heart so much. That last line of the book, that's what did it for me. I don't know why. It's not sad, but it was such like a full circle moment that like I could not help but just cry a little bit, and it was so good. I absolutely loved Daphne and Miles' friendship throughout the book, and I really, really, really loved that they built that connection and became best friends before the romance really started. Them as characters are also just very wonderful. I do have to say Daphne felt a bit quirky compared to like January, for example, but I still loved her. She's a librarian, which was so much fun. I want to be a librarian now. So it was a really, really fun time, and I just loved the whole book. Honestly, the subplot that was emotional was her dealing with the grief of leaving the relationship and the fact that she packed up her whole life to be with him, and she kind of has to start fresh by herself. And then there's also like bad parent plot lines where both of them have a bad parent, which it was well written, and I found that the bad parents were very realistic of actual real life bad parents. I think she did a good job with representing both good and bad parents in this book, because there is a good parent as well. And obviously it can be a sensitive topic. I think she handled it very well, and in general this book was just, it was everything that I hoped for at the end of the day, and I had such a good time with it. It's number 2 right now because, like I said, I need to reread Happy Place, so that might switch. Beach Read I think will always be number 1 for me. I think that just holds a very sentimental place in my heart, but I loved it, and I'm so excited about the fact that I love it. And I started reading it like the day it came out. It was it was a great time, and I'm very happy, and I cannot wait for her to publish more. Even though she hasn't said anything about anything new at this point, and maybe she deserves a break for writing such masterpieces. But yes, love it, would recommend. However, everyone's probably read it by the time this came out. Still though, read it again. It's great. I love it. On to the next rom-com, I guess. At this point of filming, it's not even out, so let's hope for the best for future me. Hi, if I sound exhausted, it's because I am. As I mentioned in the intro, which was quite a while ago at this point because I had to wait for the next book, I don't know if I introduced this book, but there were 2 rom-coms that was highly anticipated for me this year, and I wanted to just smush them together in a reading vlog. The next one is Not in Love by Hazelwood. If you know me, you know I love Hazelwood. You know she can do no wrong. She's wonderful. She's great. Love her books so much. We saw what happened when I doubted her in Bride. So we know how I feel about her at this point. And I was so excited for Not in Love when it got announced, because I read the blurb and I saw the cover and I thought, oh my goodness, the tension is going to be through the roof. Through the roof. Okay. At this point, I've already read it. I saw the announcement right before chapter 1, which said that it was less of a rom-com and more of a spice-only book. I don't really know how to say that genre without YouTube getting mad, and I don't want to make YouTube mad. I try very hard to be PG. But it's a spicy genre novel. Starts with an E. So, I don't read that. It has never been in my interest. It is not a genre that I prefer or like or ever really wanted to read. No shame to anybody who does enjoy that genre. It just simply isn't for me. But because this is an Hazelwood book, I wanted to give it a shot and try it, and I even read a review, a non-spoiler review, that explained that even though this is closer to a spicy genre book rather than a rom-com, it is still very good. The characters still connect very well, yada yada yada. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, but I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna listen to it. I'm gonna have you guess what my star rating is before I tell you. So go ahead and think of a star rating. Knowing my love for Hazelwood and everything, think of a star rating. Go ahead. 1. I gave it 1 star. It was such a disappointing read, and I'm so incredibly upset about it. Genuinely, I finished it yesterday, and this has upset me for 2 days at this point. They were spicing every other chapter, meaning I was skipping every other chapter. And no, I'm not kidding. The book is approximately 12 hours, the audiobook. I listened to it in 4 hours and 45 minutes because of 1, how much skipping I had to do, and 2, the fact that it was on 2.3 times speed because I wanted it over and done. This book was the complete opposite of what I look for in a romance book. There was absolutely nothing about it that I enjoyed, and the fact that I'm saying this about an Hazelwood book actually kind of kills me inside. There was no tension because 1, they were smashing left and right, up and down, everywhere you can think of, and I'm not even exaggerating. At that point, that's a literal thing that happens. The MMC was taken with her, smitten, like head over heels the minute he saw her. It was insta love for him. And he literally admitted it in the book too. He was like, yeah, no, I fell in love with you like the minute I saw you. It is insta love. And then on the FMC's part, it was also insta lovey because she has commitment issues. That's not really a spoiler. She has commitment issues and she only really does one night stands. But you can so tell, like, as soon as she falls in love with him, when it happens and how it happens and everything. Like, there was absolutely no tension. You weren't waiting for anything to happen between them because you knew he was in love with her already. She was definitely gonna fall in love with him. All the signs were there and they were already smashing. So what were you waiting for at that point? Nothing. Even the epilogue was just spice. Or not just spice. The first half of it was spice. The epilogue starts midway through them doing it. Like, it is crazy how much spice is in this book. And again, I don't mind spice sometimes. Sometimes it can even add to the story. Sometimes it's well deserved. I'm not a spice hater, but I'm also not a spice girly. So this was a nightmare for me. I also felt no connection to the character. Like, this was such a bland book, and genuinely my only motivation to read it was so that it can be done, so that I can read literally anything else. And this is probably my biggest disappointment of the year, and I'll be shocked if anything else is a bigger disappointment than this, because Hazelwood she's published 7 books. 2 of those books were 5-star. One of those books was in the 4-star range, and then the other 2 are in like the 3-star range. So I've always liked her books. Some I love, some I like, but I've never disliked a book, let alone despise a book. And I actually despise this one. And it's so upsetting to me. I'm just like, it's so disappointing, and I just really I'm very sad about this. It's bothered me since I finished it yesterday, and I just I don't know, I feel like I need to reread Bride or something just to remind myself of why I like her. Because at least that one was fun, you know? I don't know. I'm very upset. So that is unfortunately my opinion. That being said though, if it sounds interesting, it's not badly written at all. I will give her that. It's still Hazelwood. It's not badly written. I'm not dunking on her as an author or anything. This book simply was just not for me in any type of way, and honestly I should have listened to my gut and just not picked it up when I read that little announcement that it was going to be a spicy genre book instead of a rom-com. But I didn't listen to my gut, so whatever. But I'm not dunking on her. She's not a bad author. I still love her. I'm still going to read all of her other releases that will come out in the future, hopefully, probably. I'm just saying that this wasn't for me. And if you have similar reading taste to mine, and if you're not a spicy gal, please just know that this book is at least 50% spice. So do not go into this if you don't like spice, and if you choose to still read it after this, definitely just be mindful. Be very, very mindful. But yeah, those were the only rom-coms I was really, really looking forward to this year. All my other anticipated releases are mostly fantasies, I believe, and then a couple mystery thrillers here and there. So yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on Funny Story and Not in Love. If you liked Not in Love, please tell me why. I would love to know why other people connected with it so that I can see if I maybe missed something. If you like me or my videos, I really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like it. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.